I've never put pockets in a sweater.
The second and the third Pica book. This is vintage yarn and it is so cool.
Kat wanted to be a part of the podcast.
Hey y'all, it's Tara from yokieB.com. Welcome to my channel where I share crochet and knitting patterns and tutorials, as well as finished projects and lots of fun fiber things. Today I am doing my first official knitting and crochet podcast. It's something that I asked about in the community feed if you guys would be interested in me doing kind of a more sit down and talk about my projects, knitting and crochet podcast. I'm sorry about the outside noise if you can hear it. I think they are mowing outside. The majority vote was yes for a knitting and crochet podcast. It's something that I haven't really thought about doing in the past. I don't know why, because I definitely watch some knitting and crochet podcasts. I've been getting into them more and more, and I felt like it would be an opportunity for me to make another video for you and have more consistent uploads. Sometimes it takes me a long time to get a video out. I'm not going to be changing any of my other videos. This is going to be an additional video to my other videos. I'm still going to have certain projects where I bring you guys along for the whole process of the project, and of course all the other types of videos, the tutorials and the yarn videos, all of the types of videos that you're used to seeing from me. I'm going to continue on with those. This is just going to be an additional kind of extra thing so that I can share hopefully all of my projects with you guys. So if you've been wondering about something I'm working on, or if you had questions about some yarn or a different pattern that I'm working on or a design that might be coming up, I thought this might be a great way to kind of go over that. I also thought it would be a great way to document everything. You've been watching my videos for a little while now. Thanks for following along with me. I've really been trying to be better about keeping track of my projects and how long they take me. Of course, the yarn I use and maybe the different adjustments that I've made to the patterns. I've never been super good about putting my projects in Ravelry or just keeping track in general. I just go from one project to the next, but I really would like to have kind of some documentation of my projects so that I can remember my thoughts about that project or what I may have learned. And so I thought this would also be a great way to keep track of those things. So I hope you guys enjoy this format and that you will just grab a coffee or a tea and just sit down and knit or crochet with me as I go through my WIPS, as I go through my finished objects, as I show some of the new things that I've gotten. Please also put in the comments down below if there's something you would like me to add to these podcasts. I'm not going to edit these as much as I edit my other videos, just so that I can get them done more quickly and out for you guys. I'm going to try to do one once a month. That's the goal anyway, and that way there will hopefully be a good amount of progress with each one. I think it will also help me stay accountable with my WIPs, and instead of just continuing to go on to the next one, it will help me to want to have progress for you guys to show you in the next podcast. So definitely let me know down below in the comments if there is anything you want me to add in this, just anything you can think of. I would love to hear. I want to thank every one of you who voted. It really makes such a difference to me when I know that the content that I'm putting out is well received by you guys, and I truly put out those polls because I really want to know your opinion on it. So if you have any suggestions, anything you want to see from me in the future, please don't hesitate to leave it down below. So I guess let's go ahead and dive into my first knitting and crochet podcast. Let's see, I was going to start out with, okay. So first I want to start out with my shirt that I'm wearing. Please excuse the seam down the front. It's been folded for a little while. This is my Tunisian crochet sweater that I showed you guys, I believe, in my planning video at the beginning of the year. I kind of went through some of my yarn, my scrap yarn, and wanted to come up with some projects with those, and I got really inspired by this color combination, so I finally finished it. You may have seen some of my shorts about it. It's done in Tunisian simple stitch, and I used one of my other shirts as kind of a guide in this kind of raglan style here, so I'm really happy with the way it turned out. There are a couple of adjustments that I would make, and I can't decide if I want to go back and just redo this one because I really do love this color combination. I used some Vanna's Choice in the color, I believe, Dusty Cedar, and then this front here is Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn. The stripes are Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn in kind of a marled green. I can't remember the color, but I'll be sure to put everything down below that I can find or think of. I will let you know also if it's not available anymore. I'm going to divide this video into sections, so I'll be sure to put the timestamps for all of them down below if you just want to check out my WIPs or my finished objects or the new things that I've gotten. So I'll be sure to just divide it all down below if you want to skip ahead to one of those things. I believe that this pink here is Drops Karisma, And then I can't remember the color. And then this next stripe here is Lion Brand Jeans yarn. I also can't remember the color to that. This kind of off-white color is, I believe, the color Linen in Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. So it was really fun to use up a lot of scrap yarn. I did share about this in my WIPS video, I believe. And so I showed how I had kind of gotten to a point where I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough to finish the top if I didn't kind of stop there with the Dusty Cedar. I had the most of that Dusty Cedar and I really love that color. It's something that I won in one of Marquita's giveaways and I really love the color of it. But I went ahead and stopped before I started the raglan shaping. I did work from the bottom up. And so this top part here, I just changed to another color. And then the back, I've got that darker green marled color. And I am happy with the way it turned out. I can't decide if I'm totally happy with the color block placement. So that's something I may look into as well. I would love to make a tutorial for this if you guys are interested. It is a very, very easy top. I mean, it is just simple bottom up and then you have some decreases here. Then you work the sleeves separately and then you just seam them together. So it's a really easy construction sweater and I really like the way it turned out. I think the main thing is I'd like to make it a little shorter. I wanted it to be slightly more cropped. So I think that is one thing that I'll change. But the good part about the sweater like this is that you can customize it to how you want it. You guys let me know what you think if you're interested in a tutorial, if you like it longer or if you'd want it shorter, because I could certainly put both of those options into the tutorial. But I'm really excited with how it turned out. I really like the stripes. I actually have not blocked this yet. I think I did steam it, but I have not wet blocked this. But it has been kind of folded. That's what this crease is here down the front. I was going to steam it before I filmed this video, but I just didn't have time. So that is one finished object that I have so far. I was first going to start with finished objects that I finished from my WIP video. I was really hoping there'd be more than just two. I finished other projects, but I was hoping for my WIPs I would have finished more. I of course finished this sweater, and then I finished Pica Hairy Wolf, who I actually made into a fox. I have a whole video about that if you want to check it out. I'll link it down below. But that of course was a gift, so there's always a deadline on that. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it definitely passes as a fox. If you want to find out all the details about that project, you can find that in the video. I also shared the yarn I used and all of that stuff. I won't go into too much detail about that, but that was definitely one from my WIP list. I was gonna look in my project book and just see what other projects that I'd finished. Let's see here. So this is the Musselburgh. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. And I also do not want to mess up her name, the designer of this pattern, but I'll be sure to link the pattern down below. And also this is her name right here. This hat I made on a road trip. It actually took me pretty much the whole road trip. I always pack so many projects on road trips. Let me know if you guys understand, but you just never want to be without a project. But I never get to more than one project. I just don't. At least at this point, I just have not gotten to more than one project. But this beanie is super cute. So I used Lang Yarn Soxx, and I believe this color is Desert Sunset. The colors are so gorgeous. I started it on April 2nd and I finished it on May 25th. So I worked on it a lot of the road trip. It's so cool the way that it's constructed. It is a double. So this is the full beanie, and then you kind of make a double fabric here, and it just looks so cool. I absolutely love it. And it was a little fiddly in the beginning. I had to figure out exactly how it kind of worked, because you of course start at the crown and then you work your way down and then you go back down to the decreases again for the crown so that it can fold in and make this double fabric here. But I absolutely love the way it turned out, and even though this is like raw version wool, it is not super scratchy. It's not like the softest thing ever, but it's really not scratchy. And I absolutely love this beanie. I saw this pattern for the first time on the Nitty Natty podcast. Lately, in regards to my beanies, I haven't been into bulky ones like I used to be. I've really been into kind of this simple, basic style of beanie. So when I saw that she had this beanie, I just thought it was super cool. She gives lots of options for customization in the pattern, and she also talks about your personal tension and things like that. So I ended up using that sock yarn, which is of course is like a fingering weight, and then I used 2.5mm needles only because those were my favorite needles. They're my Chai-Gu needles that I use for socks, and so that's my favorite needle to use, and I just wanted to use that one, and it worked out for the gauge because of how she has the pattern set up. So I think that's a really cool thing about the pattern too, is you just really can customize it however you want to make your perfect beanie. But I absolutely love it. I did have somebody comment about getting started on the crown part, and she mentioned that there there were several tutorials on how to get that going. So if you're interested in making this pattern, but you're a little bit concerned about the beginning crown area, there are tutorials out there for it. So I definitely say go for it if you're interested. I love this pattern and I know I'm going to make a bunch of these. I just think it is a great basic beanie pattern. So I'm super excited to wear this in the fall and winter. I also, of course, finished my Sunbeam stripe sweater, which is my Knit Collage Spring Make Along project. So that's my Sunbeam stripe sweater. I have a whole video about that too, and just start to finish that project. So if you want to check that out, I will link it down below as well. So I won't go into too much detail there either, but I absolutely love this sweater and it was really, really fun to work on. I started that on the 3rd of May and then I finished it on the 26th. So it worked up pretty quickly. Of course, it's super bulky yarn, and so that always works up really fast, but I really, really love that sweater, and I'm super excited to wear it when the weather gets a little bit chillier. Starting from this point, I think it will be easier because I've shared some projects, but then haven't shared others, but I just want to make sure to cover several different finished objects here. So another finished project that I have that I don't think I've shared with you guys, I did show a little bit of this in my community feed. I made the, let's see, Spring Blossoms baby top. I got the pattern on Etsy. I'm not really sure how you pronounce the name. My niece just turned 1 a little bit ago and she lives in Denver, about 4 hours away. Honestly, I was working on the straps on the way to Denver. We were driving to the party and I was like, I've got to get these straps done. It took me the whole way to get them done. I think because I had never tried this method of straps before, but I got it done thankfully, and so it was all ready. The only thing I was super bummed that I wasn't able to do is block it. In general, this project just took me longer than I had anticipated and I had a lot going on, so it just took me longer to finish. I think I started it around the 10th of July and then of course I finished it on the 21st. This pattern was great. It was super easy to follow. There's lots of pictures and tutorials and things like that. I used the Wool and the Gang here and this cotton. It is just such a pretty cotton. It's my favorite cotton, and I thought it would make a beautiful baby sweater. So I used that cotton, and then I used my 2.5mm knitting needles again. I feel like this Wool and the Gang yarn is a little bit thicker than a DK weight, and so I was afraid that it might not match gauge, but honestly I did not check gauge. I was just trying to rush through this project because I had started another romper, which I was super excited about, the one I made for a 0 to 3 months, but for some reason it just was not looking cute, or not, I just didn't think it was as cute for a 1-year-old, and so I scratched that project. And that's part of the reason why I was so last minute with everything, because I had already started a project and had gotten pretty far into the project before I decided to scratch that and start something new. So unfortunately I wasn't able to block this one. I really wanted to because I wanted the lace work to be more defined, but it doesn't always work out that way, and I'm so glad that I finished. This was the first time I had made straps like this, which was a I can't remember what it's called, but I will be sure to put it up here. For some reason, it was taking me forever to get it right, and that's why it took me so long to finish the straps on the way in. And you made 4 straps, so it wasn't just one strap that went over. You made 2 for each side, so 4 in total, so that you could tie them up, which I love that because it was adjustable. I also ended up putting elastic in it. I used that clear bead, like bracelet elastic for it, and I just sewed it through and it worked really well. That way if it was super big, it could, you know, be a little bit more fitted, and then if it needed to expand, it could do that too. So I was really happy with that. And I'm just bummed that the lace work wasn't as prominent or as relaxed as I wish it could have been, but I'm super happy that I finished, and I hope that she gets a lot of wear out of it. Let's go ahead and move on to the WIPs that I have. I have so many, you guys, and I am just realizing that there are a few that I showed in my WIP video that I was not planning on frogging, but it has been so long since that video, I don't even know. I mean, several months since that video, and I have not even touched those WIPs. Now, there are a few that I have and definitely some that I want to finish, but in regards to a couple of them, I just don't think I'm going to finish them, and so I've decided that I'm going to frog them. So the first one that I'm going to frog is the Malaury Sweater. This is one that I added beads to. It's a free pattern on the Lovecrafts website, and I really love the sweater, but I did realize that I had done the stitch pattern wrong or something, and so it's wrong anyway. I don't know if I'm going to use this yarn for that specific sweater. I do want to add beads to a sweater. I think it is in, let's see, it's in one of these bins here. I think it might be in this bin here. Yes, it's in this bin. Or, oh, maybe it's not in this bin. Okay, well, I know this is the yarn for it, but this is just not the bin that it's in. That was the extra yarn.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where it is, but I will find it and show it to you guys. I've decided to frog that one, so we'll see what I do with it in the future. That one I'm going to frog, and then also the rainbow shirt that I was making. It was an I-cord rainbow shirt, and I do think I'll use that same technique in something else for my daughter or something, but I just kept putting it off, and so I think that I just got to a point where I was like, I just don't think I'm that excited about this anymore, so I'm going to frog that one. And then this is another one that I believe I showed in my WIP video, and I actually started it last September when we were doing the Vest Timber make-along with Marquita. It was such a fun make along and I loved being a part of it. It just was so exciting to kind of, hold on, let me let my cat in. Okay, my cat wanted to be a part of the podcast, so here he is. This is Mando. But this is a vest that I have wanted to make for a long time. And I ended up getting pretty far on the panels. I even made a short about it and how much I could get done. I've had this idea in mind for so long, but I decided that I wanted to make it differently. So my original plan was to make 2 different panels and seam them together. But then I decided that I was going to do it in the round. I think it's actually inside out. Yes, this is the right side, but either side would be super cute. So here's how far I've gotten now that it's in the round. This is We Are Knitters. I don't believe they carry this color anymore, but it's just neon pink, I think was the color, but I don't think they carry it anymore. And then this is hand spun yarn from Melanated Boho Bay. I was saving it for the most special project, and honestly, I've had this project in mind to use this yarn for forever and ever. And so I was really excited to get started on it. Here is a better look at this yarn. Oh my goodness, you guys, how, oops, there we go. How gorgeous is that? And then I also love this neon color. I'm kind of sad that they don't have it anymore because it's like the perfect neon pink color. I just need to work on it some more. So I'm gonna have to look at it. I think pretty soon I'm gonna start separating for the front and the back for the straps on this vest. So I just wanted to work it a different way, and I'm very excited about this one. Definitely not frogging this one. I love it. So that's as far as I've gotten on this one after remaking it. So that is one WIP. I had a comment on that WIP video suggesting that maybe I number them in the order of priority. So I think that is a great suggestion. I'm going to do that. And I started to do it, and then I just didn't get very far on prioritizing. And so I think now that I know that I'm going to frog a couple of them, it will be easier to kind of figure out which ones are top priority to finish. So this one is definitely number 1 or number 2. Another project that was in my WIP video, I guess I'll just go over those first since they have been WIPs for a while now, but the sweater design that I have using the smock stitch and Tunisian crochet. This, I only have the swatch done. I have a full completed sweater that I want to show you guys, but I also want to kind of keep it a surprise. But y'all, I need to get going on this. Really, this should be top priority, honestly. So, you know those things you just set down and even though you really want to finish it, something is just like stopping you? I think I've been procrastinating a little bit on tutorials and patterns. I haven't made one in so long. I mean, it's been a long time. And I do love designing. I love designing, and I don't love writing the pattern up, even though I love having a pattern to share with you guys. There's been a lot that's been going on in our lives in the last couple of years, and I think it's just kind of slowed me down on making patterns and tutorials, but I absolutely love doing it. It's one of those things you kind of have to like get back into, you know, because I've sort of been out of it for a little bit. So I think that's why I'm putting this one off, but I really want to finish it because y'all, this yarn is just so cute. These colors are so cute together. This is Paint Box Cotton Aran, I believe. Yeah, Cotton Aran. So these colors are just so cute. I love them together, and I'm very excited to finish this color block sweater. So that is still a WIP, but very important to get that finished. Another WIP that my cat, I'm sorry y'all about my cat. He's probably going to be vocal this whole video, just so you know. But another thing that I have not done anything else with are these granny squares. Y'all, I need to do something with them, but I still have not done anything with them. So I've been putting that off, and I don't know, we'll see. We will see when I actually get to these. This is another one that I haven't technically, my cat back there. This is another one I haven't technically started, but it was one that I shared in my planning video. I believe it was my planning video, and I was just going through my yarn and getting inspired, but I'm very excited to get going on this one as well. I do think it'll be a warmer sweater, so maybe it's one that would be better for the fall. But I wanted to make a kind of velour shirt that was reminiscent of a shirt that I had when I was a kid. You can go back and see that video where I share all about that, but I really need to get going on that one as well. And I'm super excited about the color combos with that. And that would be a really fun fall project. So another WIP that I have is this lotus sweater here. It is another pattern from the Knit Collage Make Along, the 2024 spring Knit Collage Make Along, and I did not purchase the kit for this. I used a cone of sugar and cream for this. I think if I would have had a full cone, I could have finished this sweater, but I didn't have a full cone, and so I ran out right here on this sleeve. I did finish one sleeve, as you can see, but I used leftover Wildflower scraps here for the front, and it's really cute. I think it'll be the cutest summer sweater, so I really need to finish this before summer is officially over. I mean, I'll wear it in the fall too, but I just think that it's perfect for the summer, so I just need to order another one of those. There's not really a store I can go to around here and just pick up another, like, you know, skein of sugar and cream. This is the color Ecru, I believe, but I really love this stitch detail here. It's the wheat stitch, and I just thought it was so pretty. And then of course these little lotus stitches is what they call them, are in the Knit Collage Wildflower, and I really love those. So I can't wait to finish the sweater. All I am lacking is that little bit of sleeve, so that should be finished very soon. It does have a very cute high-low hem here. I was excited to make this one because I really liked this one as well. I did go with the Sunbeam striped sweater right here, as you can see, and I'm so happy that I did. I've loved that sweater for a long time, but I also want to make another one, so I'm happy with this one and just need to hurry up and finish that sleeve. Well, I let one cut out, and now I've got another one. This is our newest kitty, and she is super, super sweet. So I let one outside, and now she came in. They don't really get along. I'm hoping that they will get, well, and there's her tail. Hi, she's hungry too. I'm sure that's why she's begging. I'm hoping that they will get along better in the future. They're both from the shelter, but they are both the same age, and I think they're kind of set in their ways. So hopefully they will get along. If you have any tips for cats getting along, please put that down below. I would love to hear, because they are getting better. In the beginning, it was just a nightmare, but now it's definitely better. So we will take that as an improvement, but they're still not loving each other. So I guess I'll show you this one. It's something I'm gonna frog, which is my sweater for my super easy knitting tutorial. I absolutely love this sweater, but for some reason, a lot of this yarn, let me know if you guys feel the same way, but I find that this velvet yarn works so much better with crochet than knitting. I am going to remake the whole thing probably exactly the same, using my same tutorial and everything. I'm just gonna go up a needle size and see if the stitches are a little bit more even. For some reason, this yarn just pulls in a really weird way. So some of the stitches were getting loose and things like that. And so I'm just gonna frog this thing and remake the whole thing exactly the way that I made it the first time. I'm just going to use a larger needles, because I absolutely love this sweater, but I never wear it because the stitches are coming loose like that. And so it could just be the nature of this specific yarn. This is Bernat velvet, and so it could just depend on whatever type of velvet you use, but I'm definitely going to frog this and remake it. If you are interested in that tutorial, I'll put it down below. I'd like to make it in a non-velvet yarn as well, because I absolutely love the fit of this. It's kind of an oversized boxy fit, which I really, really love. So that's another one that is on the list to frog. How cute is this bag, y'all? Isn't it so cute? I got this at City and State in Memphis, which is a really cute coffee shop, but I loved it. It would really be a super cute like pool bag, because it's all like jelly, like plastic, but I've been using it sort of as a project bag. So this is the blanket that I'm gonna make for my daughter. I have not gotten any more done on this either, because I need to film the tutorial for it. So I've got several of these squares made, and I just need to film the tutorial. I've got all the yarn here, as you can see. This is Stylecraft Special DK, and of course in amazing neons. I absolutely love it. I really, really like this yarn. It is super fun. This is the first time I had ever worked with it. I actually got it in a yarn haul for my birthday last year, so I think, was it last year? I think it was last year. But I'm super excited to get going on this blanket, and I am planning on getting going on that very soon. And it's really not gonna be a difficult tutorial or anything like that. I mean, it's mainly just granny squares, but there's gonna be like a little bit of special detail to it. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done very soon. Next project bag. So this is my spinning yarn. And I have not gotten done on any more spinning, y'all. There's too many things, not enough time in the day, but I'm still right here with my spinning. There you can kind of see that. I've got a whole video about me learning to spin, just like a part 1. I'm going to do a part 2 once I get a little bit more done on this. It's really, really fun, and I'm super excited to do more with it. Man, there's just not enough time in the day. Can you relate? Let me know. Let's see. Oh yes, so I also have this sweater here. Well, I think the front and the back panels are the same, but this is one of the panels. And then I have got, maybe they're not the same, just kidding. Okay, so this is the front, and then this is the back. This is as far as I've gotten so far. I have to say this hasn't been my favorite project to work on. I am doing this project with my friend Tara, and she has also put hers off. So we are just having trouble getting this finished. I'm definitely gonna finish it because I really like the sweater and I think the yarn is cute. I used my stash yarn, I used Paint Box, Cotton Decay, which I had bought for amigurumi, and then just some other scrap yarn. There's actually a like recycled yarn in here, right here, that you can see. And I thought this would be so cute for summer, but I have not gotten any farther on it. So I really need to do that. Tomorrow we're gonna be in the car for a little bit. Maybe I should take this along. I don't know, y'all. We'll see. We'll see if I choose to do that, because you know how that goes. So we're making progress. Next here is this sweater. Oh, have I not finished? Or you know what? Maybe I started this. You know what, you guys? I think I actually started this again. Okay, so I did frog the whole thing and I started this again. That's what I did. Okay, so I was like, oh my goodness, I still have more to frog. So this sweater I also shared in my WIP video, and I am so excited to finish it. It is from the book Glorious Crochet Sweaters. Let's see. But this is the sweater that I'm making right here. And it is just the cutest. I got this from the thrift store, and I absolutely love so many of the designs in here and can't wait to make a lot of them. However, some of the graphs are a little bit difficult to read, and I realized when I got going on this one again, so after I had done the WIP video, this is definitely high on my list to finish. I love this cardigan so, so much and really would love to wear it this winter and fall. But I realized the graph, part of it was on one page and part of it was on the other page, and so I got the stitch count wrong on some of the graph. So I decided to frog the whole thing, and let me just tell you, it has been an absolute nightmare to frog, so I don't think I will ever frog this yarn again. This is Drops Alpaca Silk, I believe, and then also Drops Melody. So I love both of these yarns. They are super cute, super soft, and I absolutely love them. Super affordable for natural fibers. And I'm such a huge fan of them, but not a fan of frogging them. I did end up leaving the ribbing here. I did not frog that because it was fine and the count was fine on that. It was just the graph part, so this crochet part here. So I've restarted that, so that is good news. So as you can see, the graph here goes on 2 pages, and so part of it's a little bit cut off. If I would have probably been a little bit more careful when reading it, I think I could have probably figured that out. It's a little bit tricky because some of the graphs on here are like in strange spots and things, but I love the designs in here so much. So it's definitely worth it to go through the difficulty of the graph. That's high on the list as well. Hard to figure out what order these should be in, because some I feel like I need to finish, and then some I feel like I want to finish more than the other ones that I may need to finish. So, but this is very high on the list as well. So I think I only have one more WIP besides some other things that I'm working on. I have an embroidery project that I was going to share with you guys, but I have one more WIP, which is my Douglas Cardi. So if you caught my online yarn shopping video, I shared in that video that I wanted to try some new yarns that I had never tried before, or new to me yarns, I should say. And so I ended up purchasing this yarn from Hobie, which is this cozy. It's Go Handmade and then Cozy. And this is the color just gray. It's kind of got a like worn in look, and so that I really love about it. And so I got that yarn, and then I also got this hand-dyed yarn from Ruby and Roses. This is the color Streetcar, and I just wanted a little bit something extra. If you are new here, then I am all about color. Color is my jam. Color is my favorite thing. Sometimes I find that it's difficult for me to purchase neutrals because I just always gravitate towards the color. But as we all know, you need some neutrals in your wardrobe to go with lots and lots of things. And so I was determined to get a gray cardigan, or make a gray cardigan this time. And so I purchased that cozy yarn, but I wanted to add in just a couple little details that it would still remain neutral, but also have a little bit of fun. So this is that yarn that I got to add in that extra detail. And so here we have the Douglas Cardi. So this is a pattern by Andrea Malaury, and she calls for a DK weight in her pattern. And this is like a light, I'm sorry about the helicopter in the background, but this is like a light worsted DK. I would definitely consider it closer to a worsted than a DK. It's a little bit thicker in that regard. Then this is also a worsted, but it is actually thinner than this cozy yarn. So I've had to kind of adjust it a little bit, not a whole lot, because I think in general, I'm gonna be okay with the fit no matter what. But here's where I've gotten so far. There you can see the little detail, just a tiny little detail. I do think I'm gonna add in a little bit more on the pockets and then something next to the ribbing here on the cardigan. But I absolutely love this cardigan pattern. I have never put pockets in a sweater, I don't think. This is the first time I've ever put pockets. So as you can see, there are my two areas for pockets. It was so funny because I was going on this sweater. I was just kept on going, and I did not read that on a certain row I needed to start to add in for the pockets. So I had to frog back a little bit, like only 4 or 5 rows. Thankfully, I hadn't gotten too far, but I'm glad that I read that information. So these are worked similar to some sock heels in Afterthought, I think is what they call it. I've only done that one time. I believe it was with Wool in the Gang socks, but I'm excited to have pockets on this sweater and I'm excited to keep going on it. I'm not sure how long this will take because I do have lots of other projects to work on as well. I have a couple of gift projects coming up that I will have to share in the next podcast because I don't have the yarn yet. I did order them, but I'll share those in the next podcast. I think will be a good time to share them. So I've got those projects to work on as well as a few other WIPs, as you can see. So we'll see when I will be able to finish this sweater, but I'm really excited about finishing it and I am having so much fun working on it. I also am going to be excited to have some of this left over. I did get 2 hanks of this because I just wanted to work with it some more. I wanted to make sure I had enough to put the detail on the sweater, but I also wanted to make sure that I was able to work with it a little bit more too for another project. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but so I think those are all the WIPs that I have at the moment. If I'm forgetting one, I will try to share it in the next podcast. So let's go ahead and move on to new things.
I don't think I've shared these with you guys, but I've definitely shared that I wanted to get them. My mother-in-law got me the 2nd and the 3rd Pica book. I am so excited to dive into these. I absolutely love making these amigurumi characters for baby gifts, and I think that I've got one baby gift coming up that I need to make. I would also like to make one of these for my niece that just turned 1, maybe for Christmas or something. So I cannot wait to dive into these. There are so many cute animals. I don't even know how I'm going to decide. I really love this lion. I love him. And then like the koala is so cute. There's a penguin in here that's so cute. And then a mouse and a hedgehog. Oh my goodness, y'all. Just so many cute ones. I'm excited to get going on those. And I am so just thrilled to have the 2nd and 3rd book because I have used that 1st book so many times and made several of those characters. So I can't wait to dive into these. And next on my list is the Knitting Pattern Writing Handbook. I can't remember who suggested this book. I saw it somewhere and I do not remember who suggested it. But I had it in my list on Amazon, and so my mom got it for me. And y'all, like I mentioned earlier, I've put off making patterns for a while and I want to get back into it. Now I've done tutorials and things, but even those I have done less than I used to do. And so I want to get back into that. And I thought that a book like this and also rewatching my pattern creating bootcamp from Julie Robinson, rewatching those classes. So I think the combination of rewatching those classes and then also this book will hopefully give me some extra motivation to get started on writing some of these patterns that I really want to write, especially garment patterns. That is my dream. That is what I want to do the most. I've done a couple of tutorials, but never like a written pattern for a garment with multiple sizes. So that's my goal. And I think this is going to be super helpful in getting me motivated to do that. So I'm excited about this book, and I'll be sure to link all of these books down below if you're interested in them. Of course, I have not used this book yet, but it was recommended by someone and I just cannot remember who recommended it, but hopefully it's a really good book. I don't think I have anything else that's new. Oh, I do. I have, well, another thing that my mom got me are, let's see if it's in here. Let me run and get them downstairs. Okay, maybe they weren't downstairs. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, here we go. Okay. So these little stoppers here for your knitting needles. My mom also got me these for my birthday. I didn't have any of these to prevent my project from falling off the needles, which happens all the time. So I'm excited to use these. They're just from Amazon as well. Knitting needle hugger is what it's called. So I'm excited to use those. And I think that that is everything that I have gotten recently. I did make a short where I showed this yarn, but I never showed it on camera, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. This yarn right here I got on our road trip when we went to Arkansas and Tennessee to visit family. But this is vintage yarn and it is so cool. I made a short all about it. There was a shop where they had the largest selection of vintage yarn I had ever seen. It was amazing. There were so many that I wanted to try. I was a little bit nervous, you know, that what kind of condition it would be in, you know, whether it'd be moth eaten or something like that. This does have a little bit of wool in it. I believe, let's see. It's acrylic and wool. Viscose, polyester, and polyamide. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. I actually got 7 of those, so I have plenty. So this is a 50-gram ball. It's 121 yards, and it says that it is an Aran weight. I cannot wait to make a sweater with this. I haven't decided exactly yet how I want it to look. But my mom also got some yarn from the same booth at this antique mall, and y'all, it was just the coolest thing. It was so fun to see all the vintage tags and all of the special yarn that they had there. So I just wanted to share it with you guys because I don't think I have showed it to you up close or anything like that, but I'll be sure to link the short down below if you want to check that out, and it kind of shows more of what was in the booth. It was such a cool booth and had so many cool yarns, and I just love seeing all those vintage tags because I'm sure that it is getting more and more rare to see that stuff. Let's see, Penguin. I don't know, let me know if you've ever heard of this specific brand of yarn before, but I'm excited to use it.